So Yuji Naka had a Twitter thread. We're going to go over it, reminding you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. If you're not familiar with who Mr. Yuji Naka is, let me give you a little quick synopsis. He's the former head of the Sega Studio Sonic team.
Yeah,
he was the lead programmer of the original Sonic the Hedgehog series. He also led development on games including Night into Dreams, Burning Rangers, Sonic Adventure, and 3 games in the Phantasy Star series. He founded his own company called Probe, and he eventually ended up working for Square Enix to direct Balan Wonderworld. And that's where this thread comes in, because Yuji Naka
there you go. That's what I
was removed from Balan Wonderworld as the director and forced to keep quiet about it. And the reason he was removed, as he explains in the Twitter thread we're going to go over, is because he wasn't happy with the game and he wanted to actually fix it so it wouldn't be the shitty game that we got.
Oh, God.
Square Enix has really been on my shit list lately with them censoring games, changing shit.
Definitely. They haven't put any like serious love into their games for a long time.
And they used to be a go-to company for me. Like if Square Enix would announce stuff, I would be like, boom, I'm getting it. Fuck, I don't even know what it is, but it's a Square game.
Let me clarify that a little bit. I don't think that's entirely fair, because I do know that there are groups within the company, right? So there are groups and then other developers that work with them, and for all intents and purposes, I think Final Fantasy has gone down the drain. It's been like that for a while. I think there's an argument to say like whoever's working on the Dragon Quest series or that side of Square Enix has been doing a fantastic job with their games.
Well, that's the Enix side. That's why.
Right.
I think it's the Square side that's the issue. I think the CEO, the studio, the heads of the company are the issue.
Yeah, I agree. Clearly, if this game was a mess and he knew about it and he wanted to fix it, this screams, hey, we're just looking to kind of cash in. We don't care about the product that we ship.
All right, so we're going to go through this thread real quick. It says, 6 months before the launch of Balan Wonderworld, a work order was issued removing me as director, so I filed a lawsuit in court against Square Enix. I would like to tell you that the court case is over and the work order is no longer in effect at this time. I guess he used the translation tool. That's why it says use translation tool to translate his own thread. It says Square Enix that does not care about games and game fans is no good. According to court documents, I was removed as director of Balan Wonderworld on 2 points. It was executed by the producer, advertising, sound director in charge, and human resources. First, a YouTuber was going to play the piano and publish the score of a game song for a promotion. And I got into trouble because I thought it was strange that the music was arranged and a ghostwriter wrote the score. And I insisted on publishing the score of an original song. Second, according to court documents, what I said in response to Arce's submission of the game without fixing it, despite the fact that there were glitches in the development process, that my comments to make the game better are disrupting my relationship with Arce. If you don't know, Square hired another company called Arce, probably pronouncing that wrong, to work on the game. So that's what he's talking about there. Because Balan Company came up with the idea of Balan Wonderworld, but Arzest were the actual developers of the game under Square Enix's supervision. Game development is weird sometimes. It says, another point is that Oshima wrote in an email to Fujimoto, I just gathered the staff together and informed them about the matter of shifting the trial version. This decision was made by producer Fujimoto. We will do our best for Fujimoto. The staff applauded and cheered. The staff, who had tended to be down lately, has been revitalized. Thank you very much. The entire staff will do our best. But it doesn't matter because the schedule was decided by the producer, not me. And the producer decided that the schedule is tight. Something is not right. I still think it is not a good idea to release an original game only to have the sheet music of the arranged music available to the world. I think there is game music that everyone is familiar with that makes your mouth water. I think that is the original game music. I believe that a game should be made with the intention of making it a good game until the very end, so that game fans
Yes.
can enjoy it when they buy it. I think it is strange to remove a director who comments on a game without consulting him because there is not enough time to do so. Retweets, likes, etc. on social networking sites, etc. were also banned. So I think Square Enix is not taking good care of their game fans. There was a lot of various comments and very nice illustrations of Balan Wonderworld, and I'm really sorry that I couldn't do anything about it. This is a rough translation. I'm guessing it's like machine translated. That's why the English is kind of weird. But what I'm getting from this is, I guess Square told them not to retweet people making, illustrations and doing fan works. Basically, they told everyone in the company, hey, don't go on social media promoting the game, basically, right? Just fucking, which is weird. Weird in and of itself.
Which you would think that they would have, I mean, I don't know how the politics of work in Japan or in that that region, but you would think that they would have kind of like a NDA or something like that, right? I mean, obviously, if he didn't sign anything and it wasn't told to do these things beforehand, he wouldn't think that they would be that big of an issue.
Yeah, well, I think that's what part of why he sued or took him to court.
Right.
He says, I am truly sorry for the customers who bought my unfinished Balan Wonderworld. In the future, I may be able to respond to you if you mention or tag only me on social networking sites, etc. I think it is only natural to request modifications to make the game better since we are making the game, and if we can't do that, we should just discuss it. But it seems that we can't do that, and I don't think they're able to take care of the game. Sonic the Hedgehog was changed 2 weeks before my master up to a spec where it had even one ring you would not die. I did things that made the game better until the last minute, and I believe that everyone around the world is still enjoying the game today. So it sounds like when they were working on Sonic, at some point, they decided that even with having one ring was enough for you to, take a hit and lose your ring, that you could just keep grabbing that one ring. It was probably at one point where they said we had to have like 10 rings or 15 rings minimum.
Which would have been a nightmare. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's
so
the only
Yuji
thing that
Naka
really
was
saves it.
He was like, this ain't working out. We gotta fix this. So good on him. It says game creators are supposed to improve their games until the very last minute, and to prevent them from doing so is not right. I asked for a lawyer and tried to negotiate with them to at least submit comments until the end, but to no avail, so I filed a lawsuit in court. So it looks like they weren't even allowing him to submit notes on the game. They were just basically like, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear from you no more. Which is fucking wild considering who he is.
I just want to briefly touch on Rhea had a comment, and she said that I only paid $20 for a physical copy of Balan on Switch, but I'm sorry to hear he was kicked from the project like this. Anybody interested in this game? I'm not sure how much it goes for on if it's digital. I'm assuming there's most likely a digital copy that you can get on like the eShop, but if you still might be able to find copies at Walmart's, and if you do, I was able to pick up a copy at Walmart's, and I believe it was $3.99 because they were so clearanced.
Is it that bad?
It must have been.
The game is not that bad.
It's really not. It just has a lot of unfinished. Yeah.
Well, here's part of the reason. They made the game so anybody around the world could play it and have the same experience, right? So what they did was they removed the story from the game. You just get static images and stuff, and you have no context as to what the fuck's going on. There's a book. There's like a supplemental book that you have to buy that has the story of the game.
So right, because is
the gameplay good though?
The opening, okay, so the opening of the game was like, oh my God, you're in for this epic kind of like journey and game, and the opening cutscene is fantastic, is well done. You start to get into the game and you see that there's frame rate issues and textures that pop up within just a couple feet, and it's just a lot of it's just an unfinished kind of mess.
I'll admit it might be bad. I skip fucking cutscenes and story.
It's definitely not unplayable. I didn't think it was as bad as the hate that it got, but you can definitely tell that something was going on within them offices or whoever was working on it.
Yeah. Chupacabra says it's more like the bare template for what could have been an okay game with another year of development. I think at some point they told them to have a bunch of suits, right? Because the idea is you put on a costume and you get an ability. I think they told them to put like 80 costumes in. So a lot of them have duplicate type powers, or one makes another one kind of irrelevant. You can't jump. Only certain suits can jump. So
they make you backtrack for those suits, I believe.
You lose them.
Yeah, and I think you could only hold up to a couple at a time. It wasn't like you could just switch on the fly, right? So there were a lot of little issues with it. That, like I said, it's not unplayable, but it was definitely something that looked interesting. The characters definitely looked interesting, right? I think when it was first announced and everybody seen that initial trailer, people were excited. There's obviously a connection to kind of like Nights and Dreams or whatever. You can kind of see that. You get that feel from it. It just didn't hit where it could have been. I mean, this could have been a good game. Maybe not the best game ever, but it could have been a good game. Otherwise, it just falls short.
I think expectations were way too high on what it was going to be. And it needed another 6 months to a year to cook fully. They didn't give you a fully cooked game. But let's go on. Says, I believe that this case has a lot to do with the fact that hashtag Balan Wonderworld is getting the results and recognition that you all know. It is really unfortunate that a work that I created from the beginning has such a result. So he's upset how bad the game's being received. It's a real shame that we released the unfinished work, Balan Wonderworld, to the world. I wanted to release it to the world as an action game in a proper form, considering various things. I think Square Enix and Arzis are companies that do not care about games and game fans.
No, hold on. I first want to say no, Ninja Kitty. It was nothing like Cameo. Cameo was amazing. Cameo was an amazing Rare title. That was a fantastic game.
So, sounds like he's pretty pissed. And, the Japanese are known for being polite, so I can imagine how he really feels.
Yeah, seriously. They don't usually, a lot of times they don't speak like that, speak their mind that openly about an employer.
Yeah.
Right. You feel bad for him. That's a very terrible situation, but I am kind of glad to hear that he's at least opening up about it, because I'm sure he's been dying to tell everybody why it wasn't at least a good game, right? A lot of people trash this game, and he feels, somewhat responsible. This could have been, one of his babies, and they kind of did him dirty. So I'm glad he's at least being able to share, at least a side to that, because we all know that Square Enix is not going to come out and really say anything. So
yeah, and like I said, Square was my go-to. So many games on the SNES. Was a Square game. Boom, I'm there. Fucking between Final Fantasy. What else they did? Secret of Evermore, Secret of Mana. They published. Square was fucking the shit back in the day.
Yep. Chrono Trigger. Yep. A lot of games.
Chrono Trigger, fucking classics. Now they're just shit, but they used to be such a good company.
Yeah, those late era of Super Nintendo and early PlayStation stuff. I mean, there's just nothing like it, and it's a shame to see that at least parts of the company are not. And I think you're right. I think it's that, it's the Square side of it, because it just doesn't make any sense how things like Dragon Quest are still evolving in the right way. And a Final Fantasy to me just seems like a mess since I want to say what, 13? I mean, 13 was like, it was too linear, but it's weird to see that where they've gone in the direction and how Dragon Quest games have held on to what they're known for. You know, they're changing things in the right way. So it's weird.
Yeah. I really think the merger really killed the soul of the company. It's not the same. It's not the company I grew up with.
Nope.
Let's see. What games? Here are the list of games from Square. We got they had Mystery Quest games, which are always good. Rad Racer, Final Fantasy series.
Rad Racer. I always forget about that one.
Romancing Saga. Love that fucking series.
Vagrant Story.
Breath of Fire. Can't forget that shit.
Was Valkyrie Profile before the merger?
I think the original one was.
Yeah, they made quite a bit.
The Front Mission games. Fucking Bushido Blade was good. Remember that on PlayStation? They did Super Mario RPG, which is fucking good.
That's a great one.
Like I said, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Evermore.
They were they were a massive staple on, especially on the Super Nintendo. Like the RPGs and stuff were great.
Yeah. And that shit carried on for years.
The merger was what, like 2000, I want to say?
Yeah. Blinded says Square is the next Konami, which fucking says that.
I don't think they're the next Konami. I think they're already there. They've been there for a while.
Yeah. Oh, True Power says the worst part of the game is they make you replay that crappy QTE scene like 4 to 5 times every level in Balan Wonderworld.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it. That's only if you want the like Balan trophies for the secret ultimate ending.
And like
they like to put out crappy mobile ports of their classic games on consoles, yeah. So fuck Square. Fuck everything they've been doing. They need to get their head out of their asses. Fix the Final Fantasy series. That was my go-to series, my go-to RPG. I haven't played one.
Even the new one looks just ugh.
13. I haven't played 15. I actually got 15. I think I got it free with the PlayStation Plus. I haven't touched it.
Go back to turn-based, man. There's nothing wrong with turn-based.
Nothing at all. I think that's all we got on that, on the Yuji Naka. Sucks how they did the man dirty. I'm glad he's speaking up. I'm glad he's able to get his story out there. Hopefully, this gets picked up, makes a bigger deal than it is. Square Enix knows some shame.